Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into a book that asks a really tough, really brutal question. In a world that's always looking away, who actually gets to be seen as human? Whose life matters?
And boom, that's where we start, with this absolutely gut punch of a discovery in some dusty, forgotten alley. This one single moment is what kicks everything off in Susan Straight's incredible novel, Between Heaven and Here.
So what we're going to do in this explainer is really get into the nitty-gritty of this story. We're talking about complex family sagas, hidden histories, all centered on a Southern California community, a place and a people that, for the most part, society just pretends aren't even there.
All right, let's jump right in. Section 1, A Body in the Alley. You see, this story starts not with a birth, but with a body. It's an ending that forces a whole new, messy beginning. So picture this. The city is Rio Seco. A custodian, Sidney, is just doing his job when he finds a body in a shopping cart. And it's not just anyone. It's a woman he grew up with, Glorette. So right away, you know this isn't your standard procedural crime scene. No, this is the catalyst, the one thing that's going to force this hidden community to confront everything, their past, their present, all of it. Wow, I mean, that detail is just so visceral. The author doesn't pull any punches, right? And it is not just to shock you, it's purposeful. These unflinching details are there to grab you and say, look, pay attention. You need to see this truth, this reality that so many people would rather just ignore. Okay, so moving on. Section 2, The Ghosts of Surat. Because to really get what happened to Glorette, you can't just look at the present. You have to go back. You have to look at the ghosts that haunt this place and the violent legacy that they're all carrying.
You see, the book isn't linear. It jumps around in time, and for a very good reason. It shows us how everything is connected. You've got Gustave surviving a flood back in 27, which forges this incredible will in him. Then his friend Enrique in World War II, creating his own brand of justice. They come to California, they build this community called Surat, and everything they went through, all that trauma, all that resilience, it just echoes down through the generations. It's still there today.
And this right here, this quote is so revealing. It gets right to the heart of Surat's moral code. It's complicated. It's a self-made justice system, right? A code of honor and violence that was born purely out of necessity. Because these guys knew that the official justice system, that was never, ever going to be for them.
Which brings us to Section 3. And this is really the raw, beating heart of the entire novel, No Human Involved.
So, an HI, no human involved. It's a real police code, and it's used to classify a death, usually a prostitute, an addict, an undocumented person, that basically isn't considered worth a real investigation. And the people in this story, they know. They know from the jump that this is how Glorette's death will be treated. Not as a tragedy, but as an inconvenience.
And listen to this from one of the characters, Ronaldo. No big deal. That's the key. NHI isn't just some technical jargon they use on a form. No way. It's the actual official language of dehumanization. It's like a verbal stamp they use to make an entire group of people, an entire community, completely invisible.
So, Section 4, Inherited Scars. You have to wonder, right? How does that legacy of being ignored, of being labeled not human, how does that mess with the next generation?
Well, you see it fracture them. It creates these two completely different paths. On one hand, you've got Victor, Glorette's son. He's brilliant, trying to escape it all with SAT words and books. He hates the violence. Then you got his cousin, Alfonso. He's also brilliant, but in a different way. He's a natural shot. He leans into the street life, seeing violence as both a tool and a trap. Two cousins, two totally different strategies, but both are dealing with the exact same inherited scars.
And this thought from Victor, man, it wasn't that big a deal. He's talking about his own mother's life, and he's just normalized it. This is what's so powerful. It shows you how kids, in order to survive, just adapt to the most chaotic, traumatic realities. To him, it's just life. A life that would be completely shocking to anyone on the outside looking in.
Okay, so after all of that, let's get to our final verdict. What are we supposed to take away from this powerful and, let's be honest, pretty somber story?
The final lesson is pretty clear. This book is a searing indictment of a society that gets to pick and choose whose lives have value. But it's also a testament to the families who just refuse to let their people be forgotten, to be erased. And really, it puts the question right back on us, doesn't it? Who do we choose to see? And who do we just allow to become no human involved?
So for our feedback, look, this is an unflinching and deeply, deeply humanizing story about a community most of us never see. The way it jumps between timelines and characters can be a little challenging. You got to pay attention, but it is so rewarding. It's not a light read for sure, but it feels absolutely essential if you want to understand the unseen corners of America.
Yeah, for its incredible empathy and just sheer literary power, we're giving Between Heaven and Here a solid 9 out of 10.
And hey, if this story really hit home for you, the themes of social injustice, of communities fighting to survive, then you absolutely have to check out John Steinbeck's The Grapes of Wrath and Colson Whitehead's The Nickel Boys. So in the end, the novel really leaves you wrestling with this. Who gets to be remembered? And maybe more importantly, who is responsible for doing the remembering? It's a haunting question about memory, justice, and what it really means to be human together. If you got something valuable out of this explainer, you know what to do. Please follow, share with a friend, and subscribe so you don't miss our next deep dive. It really helps us out. Thanks for watching.